And we are live.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. We're your hosts, Annette Harris. Analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need a net? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey guys, welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul. And I am so excited. I'm your host, Annette Harris. Thank you guys for joining us on this afternoon, for watching and or listening. Of course, before I go further, I got to acknowledge the Lord. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day that you have blessed us to see. We thank you for the bright sunshine. It's beautiful outside here in the Midwest. Lord, we thank you for who you are and how you are. Get the glory out of this session. Everything we go to say and do, in Jesus' name we pray. And the opening scripture that I normally like to quote is the first part of Hosea 4:6, actually. It states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. And again, I'm excited to be here on this afternoon. I'm grateful. I'm frantic because I'm going to present somebody to you on today who this individual. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. Before I get into that, let me just welcome everybody that's coming into the live feed. I'm here on my Facebook page, of course, Annette, known as Annette, and then also the audio of today's show right now is on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Get Caught in a Net, you should be able to hear us live. The video for that will be posted after the show on YouTube, but we're here live on Facebook. So I'm so excited. And I'm asking each and every one of you that when you do come into this live feed, go ahead. You know, I always ask you to like and share, throw some hearts up. If you want, there's a new care button on there too. Throw the care button up too. You know, I just love to see love and coming from you all. So all of you that are here, that are joining us now, I'm going to call out a few names here and ask each of you if you wouldn't just go ahead and click that share button. I always tell you it costs you nothing, absolutely nothing to click the share button. I see you on Demetri Brand Triplet. Thank you so much for watching. Maria Herndon Owens. Hey, how are you? Greg Owens is on. Thanks for watching. Dr. Wiley, I see you on. Walter Jones. Hey, my friend. Thank you for watching. Mr. Zoriante Brown, I see you on. Thank you for watching. Let's see here. This is so wonderful to see all of you on today. I am excited. I'm always excited every week. But I want to say this. You all see a beautiful young lady here with me, joining me on this afternoon. And this young lady, hey, Deidre, thanks for watching, she is my heart. I don't know if she knows it. She may or may not know it, but she is my heart. Always have been, and always will be. But she is coming to join us on today because we're going to talk today about faith. And of course, her name is Faith. Okay, you guys have to know. Now, number one, she is my cousin. And we have this connection, and you may find us laughing during this session. You just may. So just so you'll know, okay. But Faith Adams Brown, how are you? Faith D. Adams Brown, how are you on today?
Give my whole government.
Your whole government thing. No, government.
Whole government. I am well. I'm well. I'm excited and nervous to be here.
All right.
But that's all right. I'm gonna be all right. Now, don't mind me if you get a little jokey joke here and there. It's just my nerves.
Nerves coming out.
It's all right.
But that's okay. But I'm so excited that you are here. She and I were talking the other day, and I was telling her that I'm coming up on 7 years celebrating Mind, Body, and Soul. And I've been wanting to have her on my show for a long time. So we get into the 7th year, and here we are.
Completion. You complete. Hallelujah.
Complete. And not that she's rejected me. I've just, we've just been trying to, I've been See, I don't even know if I can do this show.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop. Okay.
Hey, Sequoia, Kieran, Ratasha's on. Thanks for watching. Janetta Franklin, Jamise Jackson, Jocelyn. Hey, my god niece is on. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate each of you. Again, go ahead, click the share button, so that we can make sure we get this out. Brandy, I do appreciate you for sharing and tagging individuals. So we're talking about faith on today. Now, I did a little play off of her name, just like we do a play off of my name, Get Caught in the Net. And we kind of want to talk to Faith. And I'm going to tell you why. I felt in my spirit the day that I called her to ask her to come on the show, because Faith and I, we have a lot of things in common. And another thing we have in common is our background in psychology. We both have our undergrads in psychology. Now, she has her master's also. And I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all in her own words, but we have that connection. And I have no clue if, I don't even know what the psychology connection came in at. I don't even think I even knew that she was studying psychology when she was. But it just goes to show we still had that connection without like talking about it. You know what I mean? So she's again, like I said in the beginning, she's my heart. She's always special to me, and I'm so appreciative of her in her life, and all that she has accomplished in her young years. Now, if you see the title, I put up Millennial F.A.I.T.H, because I wanted to talk to her about her generation as it relates to faith, and what their thoughts are. Now, I must say this, she is a millennial, age-wise, but mentally, she's at least Generation X. And mentally, she's at least Generation X. But again, she is a millennial. And so we're going to talk to her about faith on today. I see you, Toyomi, and Kendrick, thanks for watching. So Joanne, thanks for watching. I appreciate you as well. Faith, if you can come on and talk to us about the background. Who is Faith in Faith's own words? I have your bio, but if you could go ahead and just introduce yourself to my listeners on today.
Well, I will start with the comment you said about you didn't know I was going into psychology. It's been a long road, all right. When I was young, I wanted to be a nurse. Got my CNA license, went on to Lewis University, did one semester in a nursing program there. I didn't want to be a nurse. That was not it. I wanted to help people, but not by physically touching them. So I began to pray, and it became a turning point for me. And I said, okay, Lord, where am I supposed to go? Because I'm a little lost. In high school, I took a psychology class, and I really enjoyed it. I did extremely well, and I enjoyed it. So that always stayed in the back of my head. And when I was a little girl, I got left in the grocery store one time. My mom kept an eye on me, but I was so in somebody else's conversation. I was so focused in on, I don't know what caught my attention, but I could not draw my attention away from it. And my mom was like, you just nosy. And I'm like, I guess I am, because they was all the way out at the car putting the groceries away. But she was watching me through the window. She was like, you get out here. Stop being nosy. But I knew there was something that was drawing me to whatever was going on at that time. I used to break down as a little girl when I would see kids that, needed help or needed reaching out to. And in college, back at Lewis University, Prairie State. Woo, couple colleges, y'all. It's okay to go to junior college for all the children that are graduating from high school. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, start at the junior college. Get your foundation laid. Don't go out there and waste a whole bunch of money and you don't know where you're going. So I went to Prairie State to get my prereqs done because I kind of knew I wanted to do nursing. Took another psychology class. Of course, it's a prereq. I really enjoyed it again. So once I bombed out of nursing school at Lewis University, I'm real. You know, I'm not perfect. Once I bombed out of that, I said, okay, how can I still help people in a way that I feel it would be rewarding for me? And then had to take more prereqs at Lewis. And again, psychology was another prerequisite for the helping field. You have to kind of go through those psychology classes to be in the helping field. So I took another one and I was like, oh, wow, this is nice. I had a professor that really made an impact on me at Lewis. Her name was Professor Dr. Edwards. And she really helped to steer me down that counseling psychology road. I don't even think she knows that, but she did. And before I knew it, I was like, oh, okay, let's get a bachelor's in psychology. I did that. I really enjoyed everything in the program. I graduated from there in 2008. I got my bachelor's in psychology and a minor in women's studies. And as I was finishing up, I said, okay, Faith, what's the next step? Because, you know, school does not stop at a bachelor's degree. So where are you going from here? I wanted to go back home, even though Romeoville isn't far away. I wanted to be close to my mama. I love you, mama. Hey, mom. I wanted to be closer back to my mom, back to my church, back to my family. So I started going to Governor State, and I didn't want to do psychology. I wanted to go more into the counseling. And anybody who's known me from a child know I really didn't like to talk. I was very shy. So this was out of my comfort zone. Like I knew it had to be God that was sending me this way, because it's like, who's gonna talk? Me? As we sometimes say in my family, me, Imani? Yes, you, Faith. You are gonna talk. So I went into the counseling field. And the professors at Governor State Counseling track are amazing. Amazing. I felt right at home. I knew that was where I needed to be. I knew that's where God was leading me. Definitely took me out of my comfort zone, as I've said before. And I chose the marriage and family specialty. You have to pick a specialty. I chose marriage and family specifically because of my family. It's just what it is. I know every family has their things they go through. And a lot of things that we go through come from the foundation that's been laid by our parents, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, things that you go through. There's a saying in psychology, nature versus nurture. I'm all about the nurturing. So it's, yeah, you can say you're born with it, but if you learn different things in school, you learn different things from your family, you pick that stuff up. So I wanted to help people who were possibly having problems with family, marriages, couples, children who may not be doing well in their family or have had trauma and now need someone to talk to because they don't know how to deal with those emotions or those things that they may be feeling.
Okay.
Did I answer everything?
Yes, that was good. You know, I was laughing within because in our family, you and I, and of course our late cousin Helena, was always deemed the ones whenever we would get up in church or whatever to testify, buckets. We just
Still,
cried.
look, still.
We would just cry. So get up in front of people. I don't know if it was just the intimidation of people watching us, or maybe I should answer myself. Maybe that's what it was. But the three of us, they would always tease us. Yes. Yeah, your testimony was good, but you just cried throughout the whole. We almost couldn't understand you. You know, we heard your tears, you know, as opposed to what you were saying that the Lord did for you. And so now to look at me now and then you, now it's like, it's so different. Like, huh? Like you said, getting up in front of people, talking to
Me?
people. People don't really realize I really am shy. People don't know that, but I really am. And they're like, oh yeah, right, okay. But I am. I can get nervous, so I understand that. But I love how you brought out everything, how you're with your background in psychology and how you came to that. Because you and I both know we kind of came. Oh, Gwen says Cicely as well. You're right, Gwen.
Yes.
Um, we
Yes.
kind of came roundabout to this particular area because of what we were experiencing ourselves or
Absolutely.
what we saw ourselves, whether it was
Yes.
actually within our family, outside of our family, or close to our family, what have you. And so that was pretty much my basis for going into psychology. Um,
Agreed.
I have your mom said you have learned to talk through your tears. That's very true. Very true. We have. Hey, Elder Dexter, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. And Matthew. Hey, Matthew.
Hi,
Not gonna call your other name, but thank you for watching. I appreciate you. So, and again, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and share. You're in good time. Because we haven't really gotten into the meat of our conversation. I've had Faith to introduce herself to you all that are watching and listening. I know her, so but I wanted her to share with you who she is. I told her yesterday, I had a laugh and I said, I want you to do it because I don't want them to think that I pulled you out of the alley and you're just anybody. But let's start here. Let's start maybe with a definition of faith, because as you were talking, about your background and how you came around. The biggest thing I heard was that you always wanted to help people, and that's actually part of your bio. You always wanted to help people. You always wanted, your heart would hurt, if you saw someone in need or in distress. And so when we talk about faith on today, a lot of times that's what individuals will grab a hold to bring them through certain situations. But then you have other individuals who may be just like really, really hurt. They don't know to grab hold of faith. They don't know what to do. They're dealing with, some things that may be so overwhelming for them, and so then, here we come. God places individuals in certain positions to be able to help somebody else. And I believe that's what he's done for you. So let's talk about faith. Maybe get a definition of faith. And you that are on here, go ahead and throw in your what you define faith as. We see here on our well, if you go and just type in faith and online, it gives you a few different definitions, but one of them says complete trust or confidence in someone or something. And then it also, you must have wrote that down. Did you write that
I
down?
did. You are all up in my stuff.
See? See? I know Maria had this child, but I really think that she's part of me.
Literally, I said first, let's define faith.
See? See? Okay. Well, give me what you have. I just read off one.
That was what I had. Literally,
Okay.
let's define faith. First definition is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. But then, of course, I have to go to the word of God. And my definition of me being here, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Yes.
So it's just trusting in, okay, I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out. I just have to trust in that, because you have to have hope in something or you'll just fall apart.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of hope in something. And my hope is in God. So you have to have that, or you won't have any hope. You'll give up hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've gone down this route of counseling, is because there are so many people, even right now, and all that we're going through, people are giving up. They've lost jobs. They've lost loved ones. They didn't get to see loved ones before they passed away. It's a lot mentally right now
Mm-hmm.
for people to handle, even with the whole social injustice. It's like, Lord, where are we going from here?
Yeah.
How do we move on? And you have to trust in God, because it's like, Lord, it's only going to be you that's going to fix all of this. We have a lot that has hit us just in these past few months. We're only into the 6th month of 2020. And I was like, the tragedy that has happened from January to June has just been mind blowing. Mind blowing. And if you don't have faith in something, if you don't have that foundation, you're shaky. You don't even know what to do, and you're lost. And because we're, I'm still on lockdown. I'm not going out that much because we're still on lockdown. You don't know where to go for your help.
Yeah.
I go to God for mine. So faith, substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Go straight to the word.
All right. That's what will hold you and keep you. I
Right.
see some comments on here. Sue says, I think of faith as a twofold purpose. First is conscious knowledge. And I think you're going to write something else, Sue. That was the end of your statement. Maybe when you get a chance, you can finish that for us. But thank you for that comment. Brandy says, faith is trust in things unseen, a somewhat illogical and unshakable belief, trust in something or someone. Dr. Wiley says, having faith through daily affirmations is key. All right, and Melanie says she's dropping nuggets here. Love it. Yes, she is. I keep telling y'all, she may be millennial, but I think she's a Generation X mentally. Let's see, Sue also, okay, thank you for putting the rest of your comment. I think of faith as a twofold purpose, conscious knowledge and the practice of deeds that reflect it. Okay, I like that, because as I'm reading that definition, conscious knowledge, I mean, you have to come into or realize, whatever it is you're dealing with, I'm going to have something to help me through this.
Right.
And then also, she said the practice of deeds that reflect it. So I realize I need help. So now I got to put something into practice. I like that. I'm sorry, I just broke down your definition, but thank you. So let's see here. Okay, so we started with the defining faith, and so now we want to kind of bring in this millennial aspect. I was looking at a few studies that were done or have been done. One study that I pulled up was back in 2015, from the American Psychological Association. Now, they reported back in 2015 that millennials report more stress than any other generation. And it says 36% of them had increased stress in that previous year. Again, this is 2015. And then it also says college students are more anxious, and 1/2, of millennials said that they laid awake at night in the past month due to stress. Okay, so again, this is all back in 2015, but what do you think about some of those stats, Faith? And do you agree with them? Maybe even now, and because it's been 5 years now.
Right.
Do you see any kind of change? Would you agree with any of those stats that were shared?
I had to think back to what I was doing in 2015. It's like, okay, I just had, well, not just had the twins. The twins were about 3. So yeah, and I was born in 86. So millennials generation goes from 1980 to about 2000. So, thinking about people that are in that age range, because I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
But thinking about those who are in that age range, you're really, adult life is becoming really real at that point. Kids, possibly married. My husband, hey, Lori. At that time, I had the twins and Karma.
Yes.
And, becoming a mother, a wife, and you up to your bootstraps in real life. Bills, thinking about provisions for a family. So, around that time, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see why those stats would be as such. Because it is really hard. Mm-hmm. And this generation, I think we have so much more to deal with. This social media thing is a whole new ball game, okay? And even though I'm only in my 30s, I still feel like I'm a little bit older. As ANet has said, I am a little bit older than my time. I have an old soul, as they would say. But, being put into a place, I'm going to have a open and honest moment when you log into social media and you see others who have posted their Facebook lives. They put these pictures up and things, and it's like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing right now? You have to do that check as, am I on my goals? Have I accomplished something? I may not have the house I want to have. I may not have the car I desire. So then you kind of do a self-check like, oh, what about me? That little, okay, okay, what do I need to do next? Let me start a business. All right. And then you get anxious because you're jumping up, just trying to do and grab for something to say, I've accomplished something, because we're looking for that acceptance from others. And you put up this facade on your Facebook page or Instagram page. But if they were to come into your household, that is not you. And we are the generation that has come away from, not everybody. Some people are real on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Some people are not. But, that's neither here nor there. But we're that first generation that got introduced to this social media as an adult. Yeah. Okay. Coming into adulthood. I remember I got my first Facebook page at Lewis. What year was that? I don't know. Zori would know the year. But it was about 2006. Yeah, when we first got together. 2006. I got my first Facebook page. And so for everything, you're excited. You want to put everything up on there. But then that gives you a place for people to come and judge. You want to put on your best. I know I always do. Mm-hmm. So I had to remember that. But then, other people may literally put up the absolute best, but you never think about how that may make, Sally Sue next to you feel, or, how that may affect them and their thoughts. They may be hard on themselves because they haven't accomplished what they thought they should at that time. But you're posting your 13 houses and 15 cars, and it's like, whoa. It kind of makes you feel some kind of way about who you are and what I desire to do. And it puts you in a place of unrest. So for me, I have to check back in like, okay, stop. You have a foundation. And I've been hearing that all morning, foundation. So I'm going to be saying that a lot. You have a foundation. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You worry about what God has for you. And you have to go with that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it was a very interesting place. I'm just going back to the year 2015. And thinking now, yeah, stress. And I think that's for anybody, right? To be honest. Yeah. It's so much more to be stressed about. Raising children in a world right now is like, oh, Lord, I don't even know. Do I homeschool them? Y'all done forced me to homeschool them now. And I'm like, this ain't it. They got to go back to school. But then, you send them to school and they deal with coming home. We had a drill for a mass shooting in case we have a shooting at our school. You don't want your kids to deal with that, So it's a lot. It's a lot of stress for our generation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It really is. We deal with a lot more. And the babies under us, oh my goodness. I pray for this next generation so much because it's so much they have to deal with that we didn't even have to. It waxes worse and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. That was really good. Because I'm looking at, and of course, yeah, different generations express, I mean, or go through periods of stress, should I say? But they were just, kind of talking about millennials on here, and it's interesting. I like how you went back, so that you can kind of relate during that time frame, whether or not those facts, can kind of hold true to you and what you were dealing with yourself. You know, as you and I were talking yesterday, I think I mentioned to you that the reason why and it seems like I've been having a lot about millennials on my show lately, but it's because I want to hear from them. I want to hear what's on their minds, and I want them to be able to express themselves, on this platform. Because sometimes we can get in our generations, and that's where we're stuck. We're stuck there kind of mentally, and we don't really think about how, for instance, the climate that we're in now is affecting other generations. We're just kind of thinking about ourselves and how it's affecting us now. But the other generations. Now you all coming along, I'm looking at you and my nephews and nieces or whatever, they're coming along. You have your own families now. You're married, you have children. So, in what we're dealing with now, of course, I mean, you just brought it out. You're going to be kind of, stressed possibly, about some things, maybe as it relates to your children, just like you mentioned about them coming home. We had a, fire just in case somebody shoots. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's almost like our reality now, you know. I mean, and I trust me, I understand, we trust God, to help us and to keep us and to give us wisdom on what to do, but it is our reality. Um, and no, I'm sure when you and Zori were dating and even thinking about getting married and thinking about having kids, that was not the thing that was on your mind. That you're thinking about, okay, well, maybe later when we have kids, we might have to talk to them about, school shootings or something like that. No, that's not at the forefront of your mind. That's not anything probably in your mind,
Mm-mm.
So I can understand how, the stress factor can be real. Now, I'm going to go and read some more of these comments that are on here, but I want to kind of pull that over into talking about, how we can help these millennials. Because I think you have something. I think you have something to share to help. Zori said it was 2006. Okay.
The year we started dating, 2006.
Okay, wonderful. I appreciate that. I'll tell you, he's Johnny on the spot. Shout out to our minister of music,
Woo!
Oriante Brown. Woo-hoo. And this is, and wait, I have to vet them also because this is the singing Brown family as well. Or what I call y'all the other week, the modulating Brown family. But anyway, okay. Real quick, I see you. Demetrius is on. Miss D, Sharon Gibson, I appreciate you. Um, let's see, Ida Gill. Hey, Auntie, thanks for watching. Sue has a comment. She says, thank you for reflecting on the definition of faith. Without conscious knowledge of our purpose in life in the moment, thinking of what God has in mind for us, we will be unsure how to step up to practice it. Is this what is meant to walk on water? Water being symbolic of knowledge. So I like your thinking, Sue. All right. I know, right? Our actions speak louder than words, but without words, our actions might be misguided. Okay. You're on something there, and I appreciate that comment. I give you a heart for that one. I see my cousin Jamone. Thanks for watching, cuz. Appreciate you guys. Tiana, I believe that says. Almost time to put my eyes on. That's why I put limits on social media a lot, and it's been helpful. Yeah, and she's listening to some of the things that you were saying. I agree.
Yes.
I have to step back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sue also says, I'm very grateful for Facebook, depending on what I choose to follow, like Annette's page.
Yes.
Oh, Sue, you make me cry today. It helps to keep us connected. It inspires me with more ideas than I would think of myself. It strengthens me to take more meaningful action when opportunities arise. All right, we're right there, Sue. Thank you. Is it right here? Amanda, appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hey, DeMarc. Cousin DeMarc is on. Faith's uncle. Thank you
Hey,
for
Uncle
watching.
Mark.
Yeah. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else that was on here. Hey, Annette, Doris Annette, we appreciate you for watching. Thank you. I did mention Dexter Bland. Okay, so if I did not call out your name, charge it to my head, not my heart. I just didn't see it. But again, I do appreciate each of you for joining. Cornelius has just joined us. Thanks for watching. Again, if you're just now joining us, we are talking to Faith D. Adams Brown. I actually love to call her by her middle name, but I'm not going to do that to her today.
It's okay. It's Danielle, but make sure you
Danielle.
pronounce it properly.
I love it. I love it.
Not Danielle. It's
Right.
Danielle.
Danielle. Faith Danielle Adams Brown. So she hyphenates her name. She's married to Mr. Brown, but she is an Adams. But I appreciate her for coming on and sharing with us on today. All right, we're talking about faith today. We're talking about it in terms of the millennial generation and how we can how they can put things into practice. Because I had a young man on last week, and you guys may have seen that session with Fred Walls, and I was telling him he's millennial too as well. In case you didn't get a chance to listen to that show on last week, I was telling him how I actually admire your generation. I really do, because there's some things that I see that I admire. I admire the go-getter spirit. I admire, I'm not just going to take it. I need to do something. I need to take action. And sometimes those older ones, we will, okay, baby, you go right ahead. You know, or we may think that, what you're doing is kind of extreme, but I appreciate that, because a lot of times it's going to get the job done, and it's, you all are just not going to take it laying down, right, if you will. So that I appreciate, but then, looked at that report and talk about the different things. I think another reason why I may have said that millennials experience so much stress is probably because they're determined to make a difference.
Right.
And when you're determined to make a difference in this world or what have you, that will kind of create some stress,
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
I actually wrote down something pertaining to that. I think it kind of skips ahead to one of your questions. That's but fine. When you broke down faith, what was it? Family, accountability, income, trauma, health, and then you asked what are some other categories or aspects. Mm-hmm. I put down legacy. You mm-hmm. want to make sure our generation is big on, okay, well, what kind of impact am I making? What are people going to remember me by? We can't just allow things to happen, like you said, lying down. What am I going to put forth? What can I do? Let's do it. My husband, when everything started to happen with Mr. George Floyd, it was kind of like, okay, what are we going to do? How do we get things moving here? Because we have to do something. Mm-hmm. In our generation, we want to make an impact. And it has to be said that, okay, we did not just allow things to happen. We did not just say, okay, all right, we'll just go with it. Our generation, even when it comes to things in the church, I feel like we're redefining our faith, and we're no longer taking we're just going to do it because that's what we've done for so many years. No, is it backed up by the word of God? We need to know why, and we need to see it in writing. We need to see it either in the Bible, we need to see it by law. I need it to be done, and I need documentation that is done, because now that's a binding document. We need to know for sure that we have foundation. We got something to hold on to. Mm-hmm. And back to legacy, we want that legacy. Well, at least for me, I want to be able to send something to my children so they know, hey, mom was like this, and she didn't allow us to do so and so and so and so because for this reason. So legacy was another thing that I thought about. Even when you mentioned before, we want things done, and we want it to be known, hey, we came here to do it.
Right.
That's just my perspective. Can't speak for everybody.
No, that's good, because and important. It's good. You know, we want things to be done, and we want to know people to know that we did it. And that's what you're able to pass on.
Right.
I think sometimes, you know, between generations that gets lost, and we're like, okay, what do we do? Because when it gets lost, the next generation don't know what to do.
Lost also.
You know, so you kind of learn from the previous. Hey, Minister Troy, we'll see you. Thanks for watching. Joe McCoy, I see you on. You said something, and that I have to write it down real quick. You said our generation is redefining our faith. Redefining our faith. I like that, because that's probably another thing that's probably what I admire. Maybe you kind of put it into, words for me. Redefining our faith. I kind of, let's stay in that vein for a little bit. You know how I am. My mind get to going, so I got to,
I get it.
So let me ask you, even that are on here on the live feed, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, throw in your comments. What do you agree with that the millennials are redefining their faith, and how are they redefining their faith? Because that's my question I'm going to ask you, Faith. But I'm going to ask those that are here, if you wouldn't mind typing in your responses. I do appreciate all of you that are here, but we want to get you guys engaged as well. Greg Owen says here, faith, God is amazing to do exceeding and abundantly above all that we can ask in prayer and believing God to do. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I was going to talk about earlier about your mom naming you Faith, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that point. But yeah, so we're talking about redefining. The millennials are redefining their faith. How are they doing this? Do you agree with how they're doing it and what they're doing? Or I mean, we can all, every generation can use some kind of improvement, but redefining our faith. And you have some that are kind of buck against how it's being done, or that it's being done. No, it's done this way, A to Z. Let's just keep it that way. They're like, no. Can I throw a K in there somewhere? I
feel like our generation, we just can't. We're not going to just sit down and take a lot of the things that are not biblical, but are traditional. So the traditions and Bible's up here. Your traditions don't equate to the Bible. So especially if it's not in the Word of God. Yeah. So I feel like for me and for some of the others that I deal with and talk to, if it's not in the Word of God, you're going to have to do some real good convincing to try and, because I'm about living for God, period. Mm-hmm. Point blank. So I'm not going to sit down and if you tell me, well, you have to do this in order to get into heaven. Okay, can you point that to me in the scripture? Do you have a scripture to back that up? And I'm not talking about your logic, your opinion. Do you have documentation? Do you have the Bible to give me that? So for years, in my opinion, a lot of ministries have done things where it's like, okay, this is what we do. And it can no longer be about what we do. It's about what's going to get me into heaven. So I'm going to go to my generation. We're going to God for ourselves. We're no longer taking what somebody else said or what somebody else did as Bible. We're going to do our research and do it for ourselves. We're going to get to know God for ourselves. And we're not going to allow others to determine where we go. You know, like I said before, the things that don't put me in or take me out, let's leave that to the side. Okay. And I'll go to God for myself, and I'll go to God to convince me. God, tell me what to do. Because we can't rely on what others' opinions are. We have to know what our foundation is. And God said that for us before we were born. So you need to go to God for yourself and say, hey, God, and I know that may be disrespectful, but I talk to God like, okay, God, look, this is what's going on. This is what I got a question about. So send me a text message, or in this Bible app. I need you to send me to where I need to go to find the answer, because I know all of the answers are in your word. And I'm not taking what somebody else has given me as your word. I need to see it for myself. And I for me, that's big. You know, that's really big. Like nope. If it's not Bible, then we got to put it to the side, and I'm putting that on my prayer list.
Okay. I get it.
It's redefining what faith is and how important it is. It's extremely important to me. You know, but
Your
I'm
faith
not
is
about
God.
yes, God. So when I say faith, it's all about God. Okay, because that's where it comes down to. As Bishop Vincent Matthews said the other night, I'm a Christian first before I have any color, before I have any gender, before I am a Christian. I am a woman of God first, and I follow what the Bible tells me before anything else.
Okay, all right. I'm going to read these comments, but I want to follow up with that, because you have those individuals who they were like, you know, you're relying on faith, and I know your background, your faith in God. You know, I rely on it, but then you have those individuals who don't look
Right.
to God.
Right.
Their faith is not necessarily, not that they, now you have some, you know, they don't necessarily look to God, and then you have others who won't look to God.
Right.
So I want to address that. So stick a pin in that for me. We'll come back to that. Let me read a few of these comments, because I did ask you all to throw in your responses to what you think about the millennials redefining their faith. Sharon says, yes, in the past, people just did what they were told without understanding. Now people want to see it in writing for clarity and understanding.
Yes.
That goes further than that's just what has always been done.
Yes.
Yeah. Sue says, yes, I think it's really important to redefine our faith. The world this generating is inheriting requires new approaches and responses. Okay. And she also says here, yes, I think it's really important to redefine faith from generation to generation. Okay, you retyped it. You on it, Sue. You are on it today. The world this generation is inheriting requires new approaches and responses. And I'm gonna add to that after I read this comment from Matthew. Deliverance from the legalistic opinions of man, especially for those of us that grew up in it. You know, you all are, this is why I want to hear from these millennials. This is why, because now you guys, you geek me up, you pump me up, and you know, make me think, make me redefine some things. But this is a good point. Let me hop back up here to Sue. Still don't forget that question I asked you. Let me hop back up here to Sue. She says, the world this generation is inheriting requires new approaches and responses. Now, I was just looking at, my sister shared with my family and I actually, in our family thread, I'm going to see if I can pull it up. It was, and sister, if you're still on here, Gwen, that one post about the marches that were done 100 years ago. I found it. 100 years ago, African Americans marched down Fifth Avenue to declare that Black Lives Matter. I don't know if anybody knew this or not. I didn't know this. So this article was published in July 25th, 2000. Oh, it's published 2017, but this happened back in 1917. A silent protest parade in New York against the East St. Louis riots. And it says there, the women and children wore all white. The men were dressed in black. On the afternoon of Saturday, July 28, 1917, nearly 10,000 African Americans marched down Fifth Avenue in silence to protest racial violence and white supremacy in the United States. Again, the latter part of her statement, the world this generation is inheriting requires new approaches and responses. So I'm not sure how many people knew what happened back in 1917, without people doing research and looking this up like somebody did and share it with me. But, and I'm throwing a separate question out to you. I'm so sorry. I have to go with the flow. How is that doing a new approach and new response? Because we're doing these protests now. There was silent protesting. Now, all right, will someone say, okay, they added in the rioting, and is that making a difference? Is that a new approach, a new response? I don't know. Can anybody answer that question for me? Can you answer that question for me?
Look, I don't have all the answers, but what I can say, some things, even though they were done 100 years ago, still have to be done today. Okay. The marching still has to take place. Now, we don't have to act a fool all the time, right. But the marching, unfortunately, we are still dealing with these same issues 100 years later. That's sad. But most importantly, that we're even having this conversation, and they already did this 100 years ago. It's sad that we still have to have this conversation, but guess what? We have to know, we have to do what we know to do. And if marching, well, we've seen it in history that, okay, this is what we need to do peacefully. So let's try and do it peacefully. No, I don't think the rioting it got some folks' attention though, but I don't think that was the right approach.
Things started happening after that.
Folks was running and making phone calls after that. But, it definitely takes, okay, they need to see that we're still unified. We oftentimes in the news see Black on Black crimes more than we see different races against one another. So we need to let them know, hey, we're still here together. We are unified, and therefore we're going to come together and we're going to continue to show you that this is what we want. We want you to see us as equal, period. And the message still stays the same. Some messages don't need to change from generation to generation. Yes, there are some things that need to be adjusted, but if it is what it is, it's just what it is. And we can't change that.
Okay.
The message is still that we need equality. So if we need to march just like they did 100 years ago, then we need to continue to march peacefully as they did 100 years ago.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Thank you for that. Now let's get back to that question that I asked you. Okay, because we were talking about redefining faith, and then you mentioned about your faith in God, and that's what you profess and that's what you proclaim. Okay. But then you may have those other individuals who say, okay, I'm not looking to God for faith.
Right.
I have faith in my ability. I have faith in what have you. How do you handle those maybe somebody comes to you, or you have an opportunity to address that? What would you say?
Well, then, and if I'm sitting in a session, I would have them define what their faith is, and because everybody has their faith in different things. Not like you said, not everyone looks to a higher power, or, little g, or, so they have their faith in something. They may have their faith in their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you have to look to whatever that is, see what, again, foundation,
Mm-hmm.
where you stand, and what are your goals, where are you trying to go with it. So if you want to get somewhere, I mean, we got to know where we're going.
Yeah.
And I just drew a blank for what I was going to say next. What they were, sorry, my nerves.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
what other people may look to, and if you get lost in that in your life, that's what counseling comes in. I always have said, um, it was a hard field for me to go into, because coming from a very religious background, counseling was frowned upon. um, but if you get lost in your way, you got to have somebody. Sometimes people need an actual person to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You may go to your parents for wisdom. Okay, well, if you don't have a parent that is wise, what do you do? Some people go to a grandparent, or some people have gone on. What do? You have to have someone or something that you look for, to find wisdom, to find knowledge. And as counselors, we're there to help you realize that you have it in yourself.
Yeah.
We're not there to give it to you. That is not our job. Our job is to help you find your way to it. So it comes to that aha moment
Mm-hmm.
that you would have in yourself, and say, okay, but you have to first realize that you need help. If you're not there, then you won't be able to redefine anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't feel like you're in a place where you're lost, I don't know if that's coming across the way I'm hearing it in my head, but if you don't,
maybe I can add this. I always say the
okay,
best way to get help is to admit you need it.
yes, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't admit that I'm having a problem, or that maybe I need to go talk to somebody, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So you have to have that point where you say, okay, hey, look, I need to go seek out some help.
Mm-hmm.
So the taboo of, oh, we can't go to counselors, we can't go, we ain't crazy, go on and sit down somewhere. No, if you need to seek help, you need to seek help.
Yeah.
Go see a counselor, go see a psychologist, go see a mentor. I mean, something. But don't allow yourself to just sit in your mess and not look for anything better for yourself.
I agree. I agree. Always seek out, you know, the best, or what you can do to improve, if you will. Let's see here. Let's see. Tanya Mingo's on. She says, "Speak, Sister Faith." Isn't she speaking? Sue says, "A complete change of heart is needed. A change that is grounded in the God-given love that created us." So, you know what? You just light
You
me.
need to have Sue on your show.
I was just thinking that. And you putting out what the young folks say, she's spitting out truth. Did I say that?
I don't know. Look, I'm in this generation, but I'm not of this generation. I'm not as hip as some of these others.
I'm trying to do a little bit here and there. Okay, let's see here. Fred Walls, my guest from last week. Thanks for watching. He says, in regards to millennials and the way we think about faith and other things, One of the reasons why millennials ask so many questions is because we've watched Generation X be manipulated by
Yeah.
the generations that came before
Thank you.
them, and we decided we didn't want that done to us. All right. Our goal isn't to disrespect our elders. We just need some facts and scripture before we move forward.
Yes.
Close the
That's
book.
it.
That's it right there. That's a perfect explanation. And it's so crazy because I think I'm towards the end of Generation X. So
Don't try and disown your generation now.
I don't even know what the years are. Somebody help me. I think I'm in the bottom tier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But my mentality is kind of a mix there. But anyway, let's see. Matthew says, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. I like this. This is good stuff. Maysola Simpson, thanks for watching. She says, each of us are born at an appointed time to meet our appointed purpose. During my lifetime, the civil rights were born. We protested and changed many traditions while keeping the spirit of excellence. We grow in our faith, don't allow worry, doubt, or fear. We must know God, we must trust God, and have confidence and expectations in God. There are levels of faith. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. The millennials are more outspoken and literate. I agree. I agree. I totally agree. Thank you for that. Oh my God. You guys are getting me so I'm such a psych nerd. I get so nerdy and so excited when I see she's laughing because that's how she is too. This is good stuff because again we're trying to define this here and then see if we can kind of help. I mean, because much help as we can get right along through here, what we're doing. I mean, I'm sorry, going through, as a nation. And who's that? Fred, you hit it on the head. I mean, you want to make that change. Your generation wants to make that change. That's
We've seen so much. To piggyback on what he said, we've seen so much from the generation before us that it's like, yeah, I'm not going through that. I don't have, as we would say, I don't have time for that.
Right.
I'm not going to go through that. So I'm going to be the change.
Yeah.
And therefore, you have to give me. I'm not just going to take that. You got to give me something. If it's not written down, if you don't have no facts, if you don't have facts, if you don't have receipts, as we say, if you don't have no receipts, then I can't take what you say as fact. It's just what it is. We've seen so much go on, so much trauma in families from generation after generation after generation. And it's like, no, I want better for my life and I want better for the ones that are coming after me.
Yeah.
So no, I can't just take that as okay. It's no longer okay.
Right.
And we're that generation when we're standing up and saying no. It's no. I'm sorry, mama. No. It's not okay.
Yeah, I get it. I always have heard this. Now, I don't have children myself, but they've always said you always want better for your children. And that should be the mentality of each generation. It really should. You always want better. You don't want them to have to, if you can keep them from stuff, you would do your best to do it. But,
say that louder. Are my kids listening? Say that louder. I literally just said that to one of them last week. I want better for you. I don't want you don't have to go through what I went through. My mama said the same thing to me, but then I didn't listen all the time.
I know I didn't. Not all the time. Right.
I get, we want to make our own mistakes sometimes, but we don't have to do and make all the mistakes. We got to listen to something and some things that generations have done before. We can take that and say, you know what, you were right. There's good logic to that. You have receipts to back that up. all right, we'll continue on with that. But if there is nothing, no foundation, no rationale, just irrational thought, yeah, I cannot continue on with that behavior, because that's our problem. Is that continuous behavior that we keep doing over and over again, and not looking at how it's hurting others and how it's hurting ourselves.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully this is helping you guys on today. She has been throwing out nuggets, talking about millennial faith. We've been relating faith to millennial generation and what we're dealing with here, from the racial injustice that we've been experiencing, and it's just been so widespread. And you see different ones. They're trying to do something. They're trying to do what they can to change the narrative. And we want to try and encourage you all on today, because it can get a little harried there, or a little rough. Some people may think, okay, I'm putting forth this effort, but I don't really see anything happening. And that's something else to deal with as well. Were you going to say something? Like you had something on your mind?
No, they decided to cut the grass right outside my window at this very moment. So inappropriate.
They don't know she's on a show. No, stop. Okay, let me read this comment here. Sharon Gibson says, counseling has always been used in the church most time without it being realized.
Yes.
Speaking with the pastor, the church mother, big mama, etc. Professional counseling is needed for formal guidance in different areas. Pastors and others are not an expert in all things. This does not take away from them hearing from God, but titles are not automatic qualifiers for addressing all situations. And if I can give you 1,000 hearts for that, Sharon, I would, because you know my mentality. As far as the counseling is concerned, yes, you have I'm going to be nice. How about I say this?
Yeah.
The doctor would take care of your medical needs, okay? The psychiatrist will take care of your mental needs. The pastor will take care of your spiritual needs. Enough said? Enough said. All right, let's see.
As the sign says on the side of the road, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. I'm not going to go to my mechanic and ask him how to bake a cake. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to call Tamara and ask her to make me a cake. So you have to go when you stay, like you said, stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane. Pastor Gaston, we see you on. Thanks for watching. Demetri Triplet says, previous generations have always been too forgiving while we have been complying but dying. You said a mouthful. You said a mouthful.
Wow.
And this generation is saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. That was good.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
Yes. Did you want to elaborate on that before I read more comments?
It really, that kind of summed that up. I'm not going to be silent, and I'm not going to sit here and just go with it. And like she said, die. No, I just can't do that. I just can't. And our generation is like, enough is enough. I watched, my mom suffer. I watched different ones suffer. No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to learn from what they went through. I'm going to learn from them, and I'm going to do better. And I'm not going to sit here and allow death to come upon me because I didn't choose to stand up and do better.
So you're holding yourself accountable.
There you go.
And that was actually one of the things areas that we listed. We had family accountability. Yeah.
Yes.
You want to hold yourself accountable. And that should
hold others accountable as well. because we are a little more vocal about things that don't exactly line up. We then say, okay, well, where did you get this from? How did you come about such traditions or such things? And then it really makes them think, okay, well, hold on a second. How did I come up with this? It was given to me and I don't even know the rationale for it.
Wow.
So now we have to hold you accountable and say, okay, you have to pay attention to what you're teaching this next generation, because this is going to continue. If you're trying to teach me this and make me eat it, and I don't challenge it, I don't say, oh, hold on, that don't taste right. Something is incorrect here. So let's go back and look at it, and I'm open for dialogue. Not everybody in my generation is open for dialogue. It's kind of like, nope, that ain't it. Bye. I'm open for dialogue. Come on, talk to me. Where did we get this from? Because there may be some things that we do need to hold on to when it comes to issues with I'll say staying in a marriage, even though things should not have been. I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Sure.
It's not always okay to do that. Sorry, I just had a child walk in the house. What is going on up in here? So yeah, go ahead with another question.
All right. You were sounding good. You were sounding real good there. Let's see. Maria says Generation X shouldn't be intimidated. Is that right? Okay. By the next generation, but let's mentor them as they move forward. The youth has the strength. Please let us share our wisdom and let us work together to move forward. I love that.
That's good stuff, Mama.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. All right. So the youth has the strength, and that's even the word too.
Yeah.
That's in the word. Somebody give me that scripture. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's see. The youth. Yeah, somebody get that. Pastor Aston, you still on there. I know you know what I'm talking about. But we have to that's how we can bring those generations in together. That's how we can bridge that so that we can move forward. Because it's not Generation X against millennials or against the baby boomers. We shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Mm-mm. But we should be able to put everything into that pot. Come on now, stir that up so we can make a change. We can change this narrative.
Yeah, there's no need for intimidation. I know for me, I enjoy getting wisdom from those before me. But it's more like, okay, give me your wisdom. Now, okay, let's continue to dialogue about that, because there might be some more that we need to drum up and come together and collaborate and get more ideas instead of just, okay, whatever you say. There's no need for intimidation. Let's work together. Because this generation this upcoming generation is a whole new ball game. I don't know it all. So I called my mom like, Ma, look, this child did this, and that. And she like, well, why did you do such and such? And I'm like, I don't know. Wow. But then it's like, okay, well, I'll take her wisdom, take some of the stuff I know about the kids nowadays and talk to my husband and be like, okay, we're going to have to seek the Lord on this one because this is new. My mother didn't have to deal with some of the things that I'm dealing with as a mother. It's always moving and going. So we got to stay fresh. We can't stay stale and do the same thing generation after generation after generation. We got to do better. At some point, we have to decide to do better. We should want to do better.
We need to evolve. I heard
yes.
that. I thought you said.
Yes.
Moni says facts. Hashtag stay in your lane. Demetri Brand Triplet. Angela Lane, we appreciate you for watching. Cousin Ephraim says, I'm sorry, Curtis. Excellent. Ryan House, thanks for watching, young man. We appreciate you. Still praying for you and your family.
Yes.
Says, hello, woman of God. Have a blessed day and very true statements and points. We appreciate you, Ryan. He has really matured and grown into a nice young
yes,
man.
I know.
Sequoia says, question here, is it that they were too forgiving or fearful?
Ooh.
Whoa. I think it's a combination. What do you think?
I have to agree. It may be a combination. We are more reluctant to admit to fear. But I would have to say it is a combination because deep down, like this line from, I'm a movie quoter and a song lyric quoter, if you don't know me. I'm thinking about this quote from the Clark Sisters movie. Did you not do better because you didn't want to or because you were too afraid to? And it was like, whoa, ooh, okay. And then, Karen of that movie was like, well, both. And it's like, yeah, but you wouldn't admit to the fear because then fear is sometimes seen as weakness. It's not always seen as something good, but sometimes fear can, keep you in line. You need that little bit of fear in you. The fear of God. You need the fear of your mama. That's why our generation has lost that fear of the parent, because these kids getting out of hand. Y'all need to get trained on your kids, okay? Kids don't run nothing. But that little bit of fear, I feared my mother, so I didn't do. I knew not to step over this line right here because mama was gonna tear me up if I did. So it's a little bit of fear and not knowing how to do better for yourself. So if I know I should do better, but if I don't know where to go or where to start, and that's where, seeking wisdom, counsel, things like that come in. But if I don't know how to do better, how can I? I don't know where to go. So you got to seek out counsel from someone, something, some being, something. So I think it is a combination of both. It's a combination of both. And that's a very good comment that was made.
Yeah, I would agree. Thanks, Sequoia, for that. Let's see. Demetri says, while it is important to document via video, we must stop being afraid to confront racists while it is happening. The scriptures even discuss open rebuke. Okay. That's my militant Demetri Brand Triplet. That's who that is. She gonna let you know. Let's see. Also, our younger generation need to consult the wisdom of the elders to see what they did to come together for the culture, not just on a case-by-case basis. And you're kind of summarizing what I was alluding to earlier about us, using what we can from each generation to make a change, make a difference for all of us, because it is about all of us. It's not just, I just want to see the millennials make it. Everybody else just fall off the face of the earth. No. So we should pull from each generation. Keith Marie, thank you. Niece, for watching. We appreciate you. Greg On says, always bring laughter to a growing, loving family. Laughter is like medicine that will heal the mind, body, and soul. Mind, body. Oh, okay. All right. Also, another comment here. Moving forward, while fearful, shows the strength of your faith. You just said a whole word, a couple of messages preached in church with that, Demetria. Moving forward while fearful shows the strength of your faith. Give me your thoughts on that.
Really?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because Fear, well, like I said, it gives you that line or that a path to follow. It kind of guides you in some instances, because it's like, okay, if I know that there is something that is across the street that may possibly harm me, I'll but there's some goal I need to get to, then I'll be more strategic about how to do it. So that fear, as long as you don't allow it to overtake you, can be healthy. It can show you what path to take. It can help guide you. It can give you a foundation. Okay, if I know I can't take penicillin because I'm going to break out in hives, that's a foundation. I know I need to stay away from everything around that. So with that, it's a health, like you said, healthy fear, a foundation. It gives you a path. So you can't allow fear to overtake you and say, well, I'm not going to go near anything. I'm going to stay in my little box. No, take that fear with you, put it in your bag, put it in your Dora bag of things to look for, but you keep moving. You don't allow that fear to stop you. So you keep on moving. Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't let it cripple you.
Absolutely.
And you can definitely learn from it. Monique, Moni Love, my niece, she says a certain fear keeps you grounded. Yeah, and that's what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. Dr. Crystal, thanks for watching. Mama Beverly, Auntie Beverly Woodard, thank you for watching. Let's see, I have other questions here. I want to try and move forward. And I am looking at other comments. You guys are really throwing it in here. I do appreciate you. If you're just not joining us, I'm talking to Faith Danielle Adams Brown. I did that time. And we're talking today about millennial faith, and we've been breaking it down. So if you are just not coming in, we appreciate you for coming, but you might have to rewind to kind of get the beginning and the background and what we discussed and how we're relating everything, even what we're dealing with here, in our country, the climate that is before us. We don't really see anything else but what's in front of us right now with this racial injustice and everything. And we want things to change, but we need sometimes we need to sit down and just talk about things to know how to move forward and what to do and what not to do, instead of just running all willy-nilly. Hey, so this is what we're talking about on today. So this other comment I'm going to read: entrepreneurs move in faith daily. It is not easy when you know your ability to support your family depends on you continuing to move forward. That's good, because we're going to talk about her. Because Faith, she only talked about her background in education. This woman is, I'm telling you, she is an entrepreneur in her own right. She has her mama spirit.
I do.
Yes, she does. And she will make it work.
I'm gonna make it work.
So she gonna put this there. Really? Yep. Ding. And it's there.
And it's gonna have a bling on it.
What was that?
And it's gonna have a bling on it.
And it's gonna have a bling. That's true. That's very true. So I'm gonna see if I can pin this comment, because I want to come back and talk about entrepreneurs before we even dismiss on today. I said dismiss like we're in church. Prophetess Street, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Zoriante Brown says, sometimes we may be in environments or situations where we may not be able to abruptly leave. So faith is knowing that we can depend on God, seek wise counsel in the midst until you're able to get out of the situation. You just preached.
That's my boo.
That's her boo. The minister just preached. But thank you for that. That's spot on. That is spot on. And
because you have to use wisdom. You can't just sometimes you can't just up and do what you want to do all the time. Whether it be for family reasons or financial reasons, or You just can't up and, oh, I want to do this. Okay. Well, let's think of the repercussions behind or consequences. You know, everything has for every action, there's a reaction. Okay. So we got to think this thing through before we just up and, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. No. Okay. Slow down. Let's think this thing through. Let's talk it out, something. But we just can't just up and move around, because there are consequences for that. And you don't want to pay for stuff all your life.
Right. Yeah. You have to have a plan, some action, set forth to follow, and directions to follow. And those are very good points. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, where did my other questions go? I know I gave them to you. Let's see here. We kind of touched on it. We talked about what is faith to your generation. How important is it for your generation to rely on faith? You did break that down for us. And let's see. And we've already talked about how does or does your generation look at faith? And faith in what, in whom? Okay, we've gotten to those questions. So how about
we on point? We on point.
We on point. We on point. I told you this was going to happen, didn't I?
What?
We were just going to slide through stuff and
yeah, I was real nervous. I was real nervous.
Charles, thanks for watching, young man. We appreciate you. Let's see. Faye Genesis. Oh, she says, Faithy. How you doing, sis? Thanks for watching on today.
She said, Faithy.
Right. No, that's what she did with you.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. So let's go back to talking about you, entrepreneur. And let's bring it all in full circle. How important is it for you to move in faith as an entrepreneur? And then, of course, we can talk about your entrepreneurial businesses that you have. How important is it?
Well, let's go back to, because since we're talking about faith, and that is my name, faith actually is my biggest opportunity in life. And it's amazing when you name your child something that could be the very thing that they need to focus on in life. I was named, I know you asked this earlier, where did the name Faith come from? So my parents were married, Danny and Maria, and they wanted to have children, but went to the doctors. My mom could not, doctors told her she couldn't have children. But they went before God and prayed. And by faith, they had myself, and then they had my brother, Matthew, which means a gift from God. So, it's God ordains things. It's just what it is. And also in that, be careful what you name your child. Be careful what you name your child, because they will live out whatever you put on them. That's just what it is. That will, whatever it is, will be their biggest opportunity. One of my children, their name means patience, pleasant. And it's like, that's our biggest opportunity. Lord have mercy. Help my child, So, you got to be careful and make sure that once you have a child, see what their individual need is. And my mother really, she's awesome, y'all. That's my mama. I gave a hard time as a teenager, but I love my mama. And that led me to really living out my name. I started my business, Touch of Faith, I wrote it down somewhere. What was it, 2018? What did I write on that bio? I think it was 2018. I think it was. But I had actually written a business plan back in high school. I think we had to write a business plan for a business. So I'd actually picked that name years ago for a different type of business. But when the time came upon me to do this business, I was like, oh, I'm going to stick with that. And then I may just change it a tad, you know, when I open my new real business, my grown folks business.
Zori put it at 2018.
Yes. Okay. 2018. My mother approached me and was like, Faith, I want you to do this and this and that for me. And I said, Ma, what? What do you want me to do? She's like, I want you to bling me out some flowers. I'm like, bling some flowers? What are you talking about, Ma? She's like, I'm bringing you the stuff right now. Huh? Okay. So I'm like, I don't really know what you want, but okay. So I just started, you know, I've always had a crafting knack, and I get that from my mom. She sewed. And honey paid the bill sewing. All right. She baked, paid the bills baking. Okay. Them cream cheese butter pound cakes, paid some bills. I ain't gonna tell all the business, but I know they did because I watched them things fly out the house. I was here when the orders were coming in around Thanksgiving time for the cakes. So I know I get it from her. You know, I get it honest, as they say. I get it honest. I even though I fight it sometimes, I know I don't want to, but it's just it's just what it is. I am Maria Herndon. So you know, things just kind of evolved. I'm also a paparazzi consultant. I love jewelry. You know, it's just what it is. And I wanted to do something where I told you I had a minor in women's studies. So I'm all about helping women do better for themselves. I also do hair. You know, once I talk about it, I realize I have more in me than I really realize. But you know, I'm all about trying to uplift others. So however I may be able to do that, whatever my hands find to do, I try and do that. However I can help to a certain extent. You're not going to overuse me, but to a certain extent, I want to help. So yeah, my business started 2018. I'm a stay-at-home mom, full disclosure, stay-at-home mom. I love my babies, Karma, Imani, Naomi, Nehemiah, Zariah. I hope y'all being on y'all best behavior with daddy. Love you, babe. So I wanted to find something I could do and still be with them, because my children are my number one ministry right now. And I wanted to make sure I did something that would also make me feel useful and help others. So I enjoy doing it. Here recently, I've been doing face masks, but who hasn't, you know? We all need it, and we needed to help, you know, lessen the spread of COVID-19. So we gotta have something. And at first I was like, you know, I don't want to capitalize on a pandemic. And then somebody told me, no, if you have a gift and you can do it to help others, then do it. Oh, okay. So, you know, I started, and again, my mama called me and said, Faith, I need you to make me some face masks. Mom, where did that come from? This was before they even mandated wearing face masks in Illinois. She said, I need you to make us some, because I know it's coming. She had that spirit of discernment. I love my mama. She's wise. And she was like, you know, I know soon they're gonna have it. And this was late April. No, I'm sorry. Mid to late March. She called and said this. Now, it was, you know what, May when they started mandating us to wear masks. But she was like, no, I know it's going to come up. I know it's coming. So I want you to make me and Greg song. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that, Mom. Okay, I'm going to try it and I'm going to figure something out. So that's been my most recent endeavor. But, you know, you challenge me with it, I'm going to figure out how to do it.
So, in terms of your faith, when dealing with or starting up your businesses, how has it affected? Um, did you have to step, like it's a step, really step out on
Listen,
to start
okay.
up everything?
Y'all know I don't like talking to people that much. I'm very introvert. I don't really. So business takes me completely out of my element, completely out of my comfort zone. So it's kind of like, are you sure you want to do this? And it's like, okay, Lord, if I'm going to do this, you're going to have to help me. And then it's like, okay, if I've given you this, can you not trust me to see you through it? All right, excuse me. All right, here I go. You know, you got to have that, like you said, you know, I did have to step out on faith and say, all right. And it took a lot of time. I talked, you know, with God, with my husband, like, okay, should I do this? I don't know. Okay, but if I do this, then that. I'm a planner. Anybody knows me knows I'm a planner and I got to have it laid out. If you don't have a plan with me, I may not be able to fool with you because there has to be a plan. We can't just go out and do whatever we want to do. So being an entrepreneur, sometimes it's like you got to just jump out there in the water, sometimes without a plan. And it's like, oh Lord, I'm in the boat, I'm rowing. Okay, where we going? Okay, well, we can go here and we can go there. So it really did make me have to use more faith. I had to calm myself down and say, it's going to be all right. You know, just follow what you already know. You know, don't make it complicated. Don't overthink it. Follow what you already know. I know I don't want to look, I'm not trying to be rich and famous. I'm not trying to make it big. You know,
Yes,
I
you
know
are.
I can, but that's not my ultimate goal. Now, if he takes me there, we can roll with it. But I'm not running into the fire with like, woo, let's tear it up. You know, I'm not. But it gives me something, an outlet. And it really pushed me because I'm about pushing myself also to do better. I'm always, even though I don't want to, I know that I need to be pushed. And if no one else is going to push me, then I got to push myself to do better. So being in business has really pushed me out of my comfort zone big time. You being here right now, Lady ANet, have pushed me out of my comfort zone.
But that's good. You're doing excellent. You are doing excellent. Listen, Zori says the sewing machine came in handy. Laugh out loud. Yeah, talking about those masks and everything because
It did.
I was thinking as you were talking, relating faith to being your faith to starting your businesses and being an entrepreneur. Obviously, your mother asking you to do different things, that was like trial by fire, you know? So it was like you were pushed out there. And so then now you're like, okay, should I do something else with this? Should I? So thank God for mom and, you know, seeing, because obviously she saw in you,
Yes.
you know, she taught you, but then she also saw in you, you know, what you were capable of doing. And we thank God for what he has been doing through you. And you've been blessing so many individuals, especially, you know, this is our norm now with these masks, you know, so But that's not all she does, you know. So that's just her latest thing, as she was explaining
Right.
to you all. She does do the paparazzi, and let's see, what else you do? You do
Look,
the like
I do lapel pins and pocket squares for the men.
but you do event planning and stuff and stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Uh, I really do a lot that, and it's just a matter of somebody calling and saying, "Can you do this for me?" or me wanting to do it for my family. Um, I think my first party was the twins' third birthday, and I could be wrong. Zori may come on Facebook and correct me, but that was my first big party that I did, and the response I got was like, "Oh, okay, I can do something good," But I got so much of a thrill from doing it that I was like, "Oh my goodness, oh, I love this." I love putting together a theme, somebody giving me a theme, and then I'm able to run with it. Oh my goodness. Mm. It's nothing else. My kids know I get so excited. I get on Pinterest and YouTube, and I'm like, okay, here's the theme. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then we're going to have snacks to go with it. And, I get really excited when I'm event planning. I haven't done it in a while because it takes a lot of effort. But I do really enjoy it. I honestly forgot all about that part.
See,
I honestly forgot all about that.
You actually reminded me. I had a guest on, was it last month? Celeste Jackson. She is a Jane of all trades. She has so many. She has so many businesses. A woman entrepreneur, and I highlighted her, and I'm just so appreciative of how she should take one and and then she do another one, then she do another one, and so she was on encouraging, the young women to do that. But you have done that in your own respect. You've done that yourself. And I'm appreciative of that. We can call on Faith. Sometimes I brought jewelry to Faith. Can you fix this for me? But that, you jumped into it, and you're a handy woman too. But no, that's good. You have that oomph and that go-getting spirit, and that is what is definitely, I'm sure that is, helps your faith in producing all that you're producing. Moni on here says, as a customer of a couple of your services, I can attest that you're a phenomenal Black entrepreneur with great customer service and quality products. Your God-given talents are a blessing. And I will echo that same sentiment, because as you were talking, you say, "Oh, I'll do this. And I kind of forgot about the event planning." But when you do things, you do it in the spirit of excellence. And that's what I appreciate. And that's what I see and observe. And that's why we keep coming back to you. But it's good stuff. You made stuff for the jurisdiction. Just she's all out there. Zori, if you are on, can you place the information for her businesses on the feed for us, so that individuals can contact her if they need to? So I'm sure you're probably not doing a lot of the event planning because we've been on lockdown.
Yeah, ain't too many events going on right now.
But those masks, you get the masks from you.
Look what we have for you. Get caught in a net. Get caught in a net.
Do y'all see that? She made me a personalized mask.
I personalized her face mask. This is for you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for allowing me to come on your show.
It's beautiful. I'm so excited. I'm frantic. And it's got my colors green on there. Y'all know green is my color.
Yes.
She knew what to do. She knew what to do. She sent me a picture the other day. I was like, oh, I got so excited. So thank you. I got to come by there and get it.
Look, thank you for challenging me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Demita, baby sister friend, I see you on. Thanks so much. Jarita Stewart says the dessert table Faith made for my niece's frozen birthday party was so creative. I'm sorry, beautiful and creative. The kids loved it. You forgot about it?
Forgot about that. I did. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Jarita. You know, I just do stuff because we gotta just love one another. That's what it really comes down to.
And that helps.
And yeah, you know, we gotta help. So if you need help, now don't get it twisted. My services are not for free.
Not free.
I'm not gonna overcharge you because look, come on.
Right.
I love doing kids favorite tables and treat bags. I get a kick out of that. That Jarita, that party I did enjoy doing that.
But that's good. I'm glad you said that your services are not for free, because a lot of times we be trying to
listen, we got to support Black businesses, but we can't get everything for a discount.
Go in there, pay full price, guys. Just pay full price. It'll do your world of good for helping out the buy Black. Just buy Black. Elder McGee, I see you, and thanks for watching. Carla Vaughn is on, and there were some other comments here. Sharon Gibson says, good entrepreneurship bring flexibility. Shifting keeps you lucrative. Is that what? Okay, I think that's what you meant to say. All right. Dr. Crystal says, cute. I want one with Queen Chrissy on it.
I should have known that was coming.
You should have known. But anyway, here, I think what I want to do right now before we move, because we're going to be ending soon, is actually play the spoken word that was penned for today's segment. Elder Kevin McGee normally pens a spoken word every week for Mind, Body, and Soul. I appreciate that man of God so much. He has a talent and that is unmatched. I can give him a topic title and he can pin something out for it. And he does have a show at the same radio station, Intellectual Radio, on Saturdays at 12 noon Central Standard Time. So you guys, please make sure you support this young man. He supports me every week and I appreciate him. I really do. So we're going to play the spoken word. Faith, do me a favor. If you let me know if you can hear it, do a thumbs up if you can hear the volume good on this spoken word. So let me get it set up, and I want you guys to hear it too. So don't go anywhere. Let's make sure what we have.
The songwriter says that faith can conquer anything. Well, that just may be the case, because everything that you've set your mind on, you were determined to not only conquer it, but you were going to own it. For there is nothing that is impossible when you have a God on your side. Everything you touch turns to gold. Years of training, experiences of trusting has prepared you for today. As you march towards your destiny with a touch of class, a touch of elegance, but most importantly, a touch of faith that says, for all I trust him, whether you're challenged in family, accountability, income, trauma, or health, you got this. Because your faith will reach the unreachable as you fight the unbeatable, and in your fighting, it shall remove the unmovable. No matter what rises against you, you shall stand against the invisible. This is why you're more than a conqueror, and no matter what plan God has set for your life, you shall accomplish it, because it's all about faith.
All right, Elder McGee, thank you so much for that spoken word. I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, I need that. Look. I need that in my so I can play that in my ears.
Okay, all right. He said a touch of elegance, a touch of class, and a touch of faith.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. That was really good, and it was very indicative. Never met you. He never met you before, but that he spelled it out perfectly. So thank you again, Elder McGee. If you're still on here, Mind, Body, and Soul, appreciate you. they're enjoying the spoken word as well. So this has been great. Faith, you did it at the end. You I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna tell y'all what this young lady told me, but that's okay. We are here and we have been blessed by what we have heard on today. Do you want to give us any parting comments on today? Any part to kind of summarize or wrap up what we've heard when we talked about millennial faith, talked about taking us through the different aspects, areas of life that we have been challenged with. And maybe you can help someone else out on today. Maybe it's somebody that just joined us. Quick summary. What you want to leave with us?
You know, I said I wasn't going to be silly, but a song just came to my mind. You know, I said I like, when I get nervous, I sing and crack jokes. But I don't know why this song just popped in my head. And I hear Uncle Pastor singing, "Just keep the faith. He'll hear your cry."
There you go.
Just keep the faith. He'll hear your cry. He will hear your cry if you just keep still. Trust in God. You got to believe in something or you'll fall for anything. If you don't know where your foundation is, seek it out. Don't act on emotions so quickly. Think through things. Know that your actions affect you as well as those coming up behind you. What are some of my other quotes? Be real.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a loaded question. It's so much. It's so much. Love each other. Love. Do what we do and do it in love. If it's not lovely, try to stay away from it. That's what I can give, I guess. I'm not, as I said on yesterday, I'm not as eloquent in speech. I'm like Moses. Lord, are you sure you want me to go do this? I'm not as eloquent in speech. I have a stutter, Lord. Are you sure?
I cannot with her. But I will say,
I'm just being me.
And you are. But you know what? You've done a wonderful job. You've expressed yourself very well. We have enjoyed you on today. My listeners, my viewers, they've been throwing in comments. Matthew says, "Great show, love y'all." And they've really enjoyed you on today. So
love you, Baba.
This has been tremendous. And thank you for accepting, even though you tried to get out of it a couple of times after I asked you. But thank you. I appreciate it. This is so on point. I felt in my spirit that you had something to share, and you did. And I believe it's going to help somebody.
Thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone. I need that nudge sometimes. Now, don't get happy. All right. Don't get too happy.
Okay. Don't get happy and don't call me next week.
No, I'm not coming back next month.
Too funny. All right, this has been great. Dr. Crystal says, "Awesome, love you, Faith. Keep walking into your next and your new." Okay, all right. Great show, really nice. Maria Herndon, thank you, sweetie. Maria Herndon Owens, excuse me, got the hyphenation going on there. Tanja, excuse me, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. You're going to have to rewind if you're just not joining us. But I thank every one of you, my listeners, my watchers, viewers, for joining us on today, for your comments, your questions, for your input on today. I have enjoyed watching each of you on today, joining us. We are going to move Mind, Body, and Soul on next week. I actually am going to have 2 shows on next week. I have... It was dropped in my spirit to do a special show on this Monday. I'm going to talk to some young men on this Monday, and they have an awful lot to say. Again, we're still dealing with what we're in this climate, the racial injustice. So I have a few young men on this coming Monday at 5 p.m. I need you guys to stay tuned. I'm gonna do a promo, a special segment. I fit the description. That's the special segment. I fit the description. And so we're going to talk about this. It's going to be a little bit serious. I want to, get their thoughts and get their how they're dealing with this and what they want to share with us here on this platform. So Matthew's going to be one of them. And so I have a few other individuals. We're gonna get the promo out to you guys, but I want you guys to join us, give your input as well. And this is something serious. I think, again, it helps to talk about things. It helps to get things out, and then get an action plan, and then go forth and to make a change. So this is what we're trying to do here at Mind, Body, and Soul. And then on Wednesday of next week, of course, it'll be the last Wednesday of the month, which means Dr. Shirley Hill, F.A.I.T.H Nutritional Services, will come with our health and wellness segment. So we got a lot going on, but I'm excited. I was telling Faith the other day, I love what I do. I love hosting. I love doing this show. We're moving into our 7th year at the end of the year in November. So I'm appreciative of what God has done and what he's doing through us and for others. So you guys make sure, go to my website, GetCaughtInANet. Get Caught, you see it up there? GetCaughtInANetRadio.com. All right. And you will see past shows, upcoming shows, my past, I guess, information. You will also see my positive mental health tips. Go to my YouTube channel. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? Please go on over there, type in GetCaughtInANet, and you will see my videos and what I believe God has given me to help us to have positive mental health. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. And you saw Faith showing my nice mask that I have to go over there and get. Thank you, Zori, for placing the website or the Facebook page for A Touch of Faith Creations. And you can hit her up. The other masks that you all have seen me wearing, Faith made those for me as well. But now I get my own personalized ones. So don't you
have to upgrade
her.
you.
That's right.
We have to upgrade you.
Jesus. All right. This has been great. Again, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to play my little ending jingle here. Shout out to Demetrius Hunt for my jingle for Mind, Body, and Soul with the Net. Also join me on tomorrow night with my co-host for my other show, A&D Conversation. Got something else great coming up there. So watch out for those promos as well. We are going to get out of here and we'll see you guys. Take a listen to the jingle. Yes. And Faith Danielle, again, thank you so much for joining us on today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Like 50 thumbs up, okay? All right, guys, we're out of here. See you next time. Get caught in the net.